I'm going to show you how compounding, the eighth wonder of the world, completely changed my life. And today I'm going to be breaking down how compounding habits will change your life and it will help you achieve exactly what you want. So a lot of us always think when we think about compounding, we usually tend to think about making money. They say this all the time. Hey, if you just put your money in the stock market or in crypto or in real estate, it's all gonna compound, right? Same thing with business. If you have, $10,000 in the stock market, for example, the compounding effect would be, hey, you make 10% a year, now you would be at $1,100. Then you compound 10% again the second year, and you would have $12,100. Right? So every single year it increases slightly and slightly more. The third year you would end up having $13,300 more or less. So notice how every single year you increase by about 1,000, but then it's slightly bit more. It's a great tool, don't get me wrong. It's something that I think about all the time and I apply in my business and in my investments. But what a lot of people I feel don't think about, or maybe a lot of people don't even talk about, because I haven't really seen a lot of this, is the compounding effect in your habits is way bigger of an impact in your life than anything else. So what exactly does that mean? By compounding, I mean you can literally compound your habits and everything that you do in a way where it helps speed things up. This is not just about making money. It's about your relationships with people. It's about your health habits. It's about going to the gym. It's about eating properly. It's about, hey, I'm gonna make sure I read every single day because maybe I'm somebody who doesn't like reading, right? Maybe you read once a year, once a month, and for whatever reason, you just can't get yourself to do it, right? But what if I told you using the compounding effect within your personal life and in the way you do things will actually help you get there a lot quicker? So let's use an example of reading, right? Which is something that I have applied within my life. Reading has never been something that I've been a fan of, right? I enjoy it in the sense that I do know that it teaches me a lot of things and it helps create discipline, but I tend to just not read. For whatever reason, I won't sit down and open the book and just read. So I used to think, like, why is it that I struggle doing all these little things? And it's usually because we have built habits and belief systems that we operate out of. When you operate out of those belief systems or those habits, the results that you have today are based on that. So the best way to change that is obviously to rewire those habits, change up those habits, and also change that belief system. But to do that, it could be as simple as, hey, I'm gonna start doing this no matter what right now, and I'm done. And it actually works. I've done that as well too. But a lot of us actually struggle sometimes in applying that. One of the biggest things that I picked up on was the compounding effect, right? I started researching into this and reading up on this, watching YouTube videos, podcasts, different things like that. And I realized that compounding is actually the same thing in everything else that you do, right? So if we go back to the example of reading a book, how could you compound yourself into getting to a point where you read every single day and you never miss, and you continuously not only increase the amount of time that you read, the amount of pages that you read, the words that you take in, but you're able to get yourself into a flow state where actually sitting down and reading during the entire time feels very easy, right? Because that's the part where we run away from. That's the part where you think about it and you kind of start getting anxious, because I used to feel very anxious all the time of like, man, I just don't want to read. It's going to take me a long time. Like, I know this is going to help me, but I'm just tired. I don't want to focus, etc. What I started doing after I understood the compound effect in business and in making money and investing, looking into habits that we have as people, I was like, how can I merge the two? And I'm not saying I came up with this, like I 100% did not come up with this. I think just using some of my logic and intuition and then doing all the research that I did, I was able to put that together. So I applied the exact same principle into investing from a compounding perspective into my personal habits. So for example, instead of looking at it from the perspective of, hey, I'm gonna start reading 30 minutes a day starting right now or starting tomorrow, no matter what. If you can do that, great, you should. Sometimes though, it is a little bit more difficult for other people, right? So what I would say to do instead is, you know what? Starting right now, I'm gonna go grab this book, and every single day at 12 p.m. or at 9 a.m., I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna open the book and read a page. Nothing else, like literally just one page, right? So you might think, well, how is that really gonna get me to that goal? How am I gonna get there a lot quicker, right? What you're doing now is, instead of having those fears or those subconscious beliefs of why you don't wanna sit and all the times that it comes up every time you don't sit and read, you're retraining your brain to actually sit down, actually grab the book, open the book, and read a page. That's it. It's super simple. And then you do it again the next day, and then the next day. And every single day, you either increase a page or you do it after a couple of days. You'll notice that if you commit to just that 1 page a day, once you're reading, you might be like, you know what? I'll just keep going. I'll read 2 pages, 3 pages, right? The next day, you're not going to think, oh, I got to read 30 minutes or I have to read 20 pages. Same thing. Just sit down, grab the book and read a page. After about a few days or even a week, it's going to feel very easy to grab the book, sit down and start reading. And then you just slowly keep increasing. Then you go to 3 pages, 5 pages, 10 pages. That is the art of compounding effect. That is the same logic and the same principle when it comes to investing. And they talk about compounding interest when you're investing in the stock market, for example, right? It's the same thing in your habits. And that's something, honestly, I wish I knew when I was a kid. And I literally, the first time all this finally clicked, this is like 7-8 years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try that. Going forward, all I have to do is I'm going to put my gym clothes on and I'm going to show up to the gym, even if I don't work out. You might see it as a waste of time, but my goal wasn't to get in shape. My goal wasn't any of that, right? The number one goal was, how can I get myself to actually go to the gym and actually work out? Well, I needed to rebuild the habit of actually getting up, getting dressed and going. So I started going to the gym every single day for weeks. Sometimes I wouldn't even work out. Sometimes I'd just show up and walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes. Eventually, after about a week, because it was something that I had already done before, I was able to rebuild the habit. And it's literally the same thing in everything. It's the same thing in your relationships, in your romance, in your business, in your health, like in wanting to read, studying for school, whatever the case is, the compounding effect is not only real, but it works in every single part of your life. So know what your issues are, if you want to call them issues, or the thing that you want to fix and change. Then think about how you can reverse engineer that habit or that thought process. Then implement the discipline, the compounding effect, and then to go even deeper into it, what is it that is actually causing me to want to do this? What's actually causing me to not do the thing that I want to do? And that's like a whole other YouTube video. There's so many tools out there that can help us figure these things out. But one of the easiest and quickest and cheapest ways is rechanging your habits from a compounding perspective and changing your perception of how you're doing those things and how you can actually switch that to actually get the results that you want. So look, if you don't want to do this, it's perfectly fine. But I'm telling you right now that ever since I became aware of this and I started applying it in every single part of my life, I have literally lost over 100 pounds. I'm healthier than I've ever been. My relationships are stronger than they've ever been. I've made over 8 figures online by applying these habits, right? Applying it in the way I do things, applying it in the way I do within my business, and on and on and on. So do what you want with it. But even if there's a small thought or a small idea or a small what if, like what if this is real? And even if you don't think it's real at all, I say try it. So if any of you guys have ever done any of this or actually practiced it or have any thoughts on this, I would love for you guys to leave a comment below and let me know how this has made an impact on your life. Or if you guys have other ways that you guys have noticed that can help you actually stick to your habits and see a compounding effect in your life, drop the comment below because it might actually help me or it might help anybody else watching this video. So thank you guys again for watching this video and I'll see you on the next one.